Hello friends of the electrified charging fun and welcome to Speicher Elektrisiert, your channel all around Skoda's e-mobility. My name is Matthias and look what I've got for you. Yes, it's a frunk. It's a frunk for the ENYAQ, delivered from the Austrian guys at frunk.at. And we will look at the build quality of this model, how you install it, how you install the gas pressure spring for the hood so that you do not have to use this one here. And also we look how this does its job when it's rainy and if you've got loose parts in it. Also, if you are interested in the Irish version of a frunk for the ENYAQ, you should wait for an upcoming video. So it's better to subscribe right now, because I will also showcase this frunk from the Irish guys, and then you can decide yourself whether this is something for you or not. So here we go. Time to unpack this frunk. Let's see what's inside the box. And here you go. This is the frunk. And what do we got here? Well, here's a greeting card with some sweets. Then we've got this bag here, the trunk bag, size L. This is an optional accessory. We've got the manual for installation. Then we've got the gas pressure spring here for the HUD so that you can open it with more ease. And then we've got the trunk itself right here. This net comes with the trunk, and yeah, basically this is one piece. And there's a sticker for the rescue services that there's a high voltage disconnection port. You will see it later on because the trunk covers it a bit. And well, let's look at the build quality first. And if I look at this, this really looks well molded. This is quite a good piece of plastic. It's really well designed, it's well done. Even if I look at the clips down here to install it, they look really sturdy. The frunk is quite thick, so yes, it's really a good manufactured piece for your car. Well, shall we install it? Well, installation is quite easy. You see it in the manual right here. It's just this small 3 steps. So basically you just clip the frunk inside the motor area here on this piece of metal up here. So this bar here is the place where the frunk goes. You have 4 clips and you put it just on here and then it is attached. So it covers a large area and uses every available space. You see, it's quite simple to install it. Just look that these clips are aligned with the bar up here. Then go to the other side here. You can grab around here to see if these clips are aligned as well. And then just gently push it down. And you need a bit of force, but then the frunk is attached. You see, it sits quite well. It's a bit loose, but how this looks when you're driving, we'll look later on in this video. One small advice, the instruction says that you should tighten the frunk from the right to the left. So first press here, then press here. I did it the other way around, pressed first here, then here. And for me this looks a bit more easy because here you can see if the clips are really aligned, so it's an easy push. Here you can't. So I first look if this clip here, the outer, the D clip, is attached with the bar, then press it down and it works for me. So yeah, choose the one you like, whether you go with the manual or with my method. Well, the frunk is installed. Let's look at the accessories. First off, the optional bag right here. It really fits well into the frunk. As you can see, it fits in the front here. You can put it up here and it's a quite well-made little bag. You have this strip on the back with Velcro, so basically you can glue the lower part inside the frunk. Also you have those clips up here and the counterpart for it, which you can also glue into your frunk to attach the bag more safely to the frunk. And this seems to be completely Velcro, so you could put in your own strips. Let's look at this bag. There's plenty of space in it. If you see it like this, you can look at this, it's a nice made bag, but you always have to look for the height of it, because you shall not exceed the height of this mesh net up here, so that you don't damage your hood. The mesh up here, which comes with the frunk, is also quite nice. You can put stuff in here on the upper part, and it also shows you how how much you can fit into the frunk, because if you are below this net, which also keeps stuff safely in place, you're good to go. Here you can see my typical loadout for the frunk. And basically what I put into it is what I have in the trunk normally, in the lower compartment, which I often can't access due to the dock box. And you can see here's a charging cable, some nets and other stuff. And as you can see, this fits quite well. There goes more into it than you imagine. And yes, you can close the hood quite easy with this. That works fine for me. Here I laid out what was in the frunk, and as you can see, there is transportation stuff, there is my charging cable, there is a lot of stuff going on, and this all fits quite well. So it's not that less space. You fit quite much stuff in it, but again, please be aware that you do not damage your hood. Let's talk about the gas pressure spring, this one right here. The pros and the cons we discuss later on. This is about installation of it. This is the spring, then you get 3 additional parts. So basically these to attach the spring to the hood. And of course you get some manual. And it's quite easy to install it. So you basically go to your hood, you install it up here, and then the lower part to mount it is down here. And that's basically it. And to do so, you need some tools. They say you should pick up some wrenches. I prefer a ratchet. And so basically here's my ratchet, and I've got some fabric to cover the hood and the motor compartment so that I do not damage it. Well, basically, that's it. The spring is installed and now you can use it. It's a bit tight at the beginning. It needs a couple of openings to get better, but as you can see, you can just close it and reopen it again. And now it does its job on its own. 2 important notices on this spring. First off, as you can see, it's only here on the right side. You do not get a second spring for the left side because simply there is no space for it. So basically you only have the power when it opens and closes on this side of the hood. So I don't know if this on one side attached spring does any harm in long term to the hood, because you simply have all the power, all the pressure, all the force here. That's just a note, because if you open it up here, it's centered. But this is not the important one. The important one is about this spring mounting. You have changed your car in a technical manner and permanently until you disassemble or until you uninstall the spring, of course. And normally you have to put this into the documents. This is not documented anywhere. So basically, maybe your car, depending on the country where you live, is no longer safe to drive on the road. And also, in no rescue card, this spring is mentioned. And if you are in an accident and there is something happening with this spring and do any harm to anyone, you might be responsible for that, and your insurance might not pay you for this. So it's up to you to decide if you want this spring in your car or not. Frunk.at can't guarantee you anything and can't certify it for all the models they have. It's simple to put it simple, it's too expensive. So if you want my recommendation, what will I do? I will uninstall it right after the video. I just put it in for the video. I will not use it. I go back to the basic setting of the normal hood operation, doing manual, and so I'm fine. I'm pretty sure that you are interested if the trunk stays dry during rainy weather, and therefore I ordered some rainy weather. Look at this, it's raining outside. So basically I wear my rain jacket, and now we do a test drive with the frunk installed and see if it keeps dry or if it gets wet. So as you can see, now I'm on my way to test the frunk in rainy conditions. You can see outside it's pretty heavy raining, and I'm now driving through the city. I'm driving National Road and Overland Road, and I'm going on the highway at 120 kilometers an hour to prove if the frunk stays dry or not. Now I'm on the highway and the frunk can prove itself. It's rainy, as you can see. All is wet on the highway, and now let's see if the trunk can live up to its expectation of staying dry. Now let's look at the frunk after the test drive, and as you can see, my car is completely wet and it's also dripping down from the hood here. So yes, really rainy conditions. And now let's have a look at the frunk, and as you can see, it's completely dry. Also, you can see here there's the dust from the production still in it, and yes, you've got a couple of water drops like this here, minimalistic water drops, not worth to mention. This frunk is completely dry, and yeah, therefore, even though it does not have any rubber up here or a lid, it keeps everything you put in dry, even under these rainy conditions. So yes, it has proven its test and it has lived up to the expectation. So driving around with the frunk fully loaded on bumpy roads here in the city, on country roads, and up to 120 kilometers an hour on the Swiss highway, I didn't notice any noises from there. And as you can see in the video, I did not load it so well. There's a lot of loose parts in it, and the net above does a really great job so that nothing can escape from the frunk. But it even is not flying around or doing anything. It's just laying there and is stable. So yes, I don't hear any noises. I don't have any problems in using it. And after the rain test, the driving test is also a really good experience. And regarding the terms and conditions for the Skoda guarantee, I can't give you any information on that, because if I would ask the factory in Mladá Boleslav in Czech Republic, they will tell me something different from what your country organization might tell you, because these terms and conditions may vary from country to country, and I just cannot ask all country organizations, as they do not give me feedback. So basically, if you want to be on the safe side here, ask your country organization when it comes to terms and conditions of your Skoda guarantee. Let's round things up. So you've seen how to install and uninstall the frunk, you see the loadout you can put in, and how it is when you operate the car. Well, basically they did the best job in using every available space in this motor compartment. There is simply no more space to use, so they can't do it better. So if you want more space from a frunk, not with the ENYAQ. So it's not their fault that this is just the space you have. They did the best to do it. And it fits really quite a lot of stuff in, doesn't it? You saw it in the video. And regarding the frunk, material quality and build quality is really high. The material, by the way, is inflammable. So you don't have any problems with that. But that leads to another topic, and this is, are you allowed to put something like this into your motor compartment? And this is no legal advice. I can't tell you if this is legal in the country you live in. But basically, here in Switzerland, we can say this is but basically here in Switzerland, we can say this is not part of the car because you do not need any tools to install and deinstall it. So it's part of the loading of the car, of the stuff you transport. And that's basically it. But again, this is no legal advice for no country. You do it on your own. And that leads me, if your car needs to get a check at the dealership, should you put it in or out? I would remove it. It's quite easy like that. So basically, you don't need any tools. So why go the risk? So do it the easy way and remove it. Another thing is, would I buy it if I did not got the discount from frunk.at? And basically, my answer is yes, because it is a solution for a problem I have when the dock box is installed, because I can't reach the lower compartment in the trunk. And the stuff in there fits quite well in here. So yes, for me, this is not a bad solution. It's a good solution for a problem I really have. And I'm pretty sure we will use it on a road trip we are going on in June. So yeah, you hear it right. We do an epic journey through Europe and we do a lot of videos on this, and then you can see a frunk in action. Would I choose the frunk from Austria over the frunk of the Irish? I can't say right now because I don't have the Irish frunk here. So I need to compare first and test it out. But this is a quite good frunk. It's good build quality and fits really good in. I don't have any discount for you from frunk.at. So if you want to buy this frunk, do it. If you don't, I don't judge you. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And consider to subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel, so you don't miss out the video on the Irish frunk and you don't miss out the road trips and stuff like that. Also, a huge thanks for all those who are donating a small amount of money to me to keep this channel running via PayPal or YouTube. Thanks, you really rock. And thank you for watching my videos, because donating your time in watching them is also great, and I love that you all like my videos, also the English version. And then I hope to see you in the next video, and until then, stay full of energy.